Morning guys, just out here getting my steps, unreal views. So in this video I'm going to cover, I'm not sure how many, but I'm going to cover my main habits and routines which I think are essential to excel with your physique, your training, your performance, and also perform at a high level in your business and career, whether you're self-employed or you run your own thing. So for me, obviously it all starts with the morning routine. Now I will say I don't have too strict of a morning routine, but there are some basics that I stick to every single day. So depending on what I've got on that day or what I've had on the evening before, I'll always aim to get up, I would say, between 5:30 and 6:30. Now that is quite a relatively wide degree of variation, an hour. But some evenings, I don't take any calls, so I can get to bed earlier, start winding down, try and be in bed by like 9:30. Whereas sometimes I have calls with people, clients, prospects in other time zones. Do a lot of calls with people in the US. Sometimes I can be up working until 9:30, and then I'm not gonna want to start, winding down and actually go to sleep till closer to 10:30. So I would not be getting enough sleep if I went to bed at, if I got up at 5:30. So yeah, I like to give myself a little bit of flexibility there. Today I got up at 6:30 because I felt like I needed extra sleep. But then tomorrow I'm going to be getting up at 6 because I'm running at 7. So yeah, obviously that's the first thing that happens. Then I have a coffee, I have my supplements, which I'll run you over later on when I get back to the apartment. I'll always do a 45 to 60 minute work block first thing, even before I go for steps. And then what I'll do is go for steps, which I'm doing now. It's 8:30, and then I always have a call with my team at 9 a.m. Monday to Friday. So that's my kind of very basic routine. Again, it's not super complex. Sometimes I'll add more things into it, but it does provide me with that structure that everything else feeds from for the rest of the day. Because I am self-employed. Technically, I could get up at 9, could get up at 10 and do nothing. But for me, 5:30 to 6:30 wake up, which is determined by, as I said, the work that I've had the night before, and also the training that I have on the actual day. I should turn around. Because some days, if I run, I'm running first thing in the morning. From strength training, I'll train later on in the day. So it all starts with the morning routine. Something that I have recently added in as well, which I will give you guys an update on hopefully in a couple of weeks time, is breath work. So I did breath work this morning just to help with stress and managing kind of cortisol levels. Obviously they can be quite high sometimes due to running a business, so I'm going to be consistent with that for the next couple of weeks, and I'll report back on the benefits. But yeah, the morning routine is essential. Don't overcomplicate it. I found in the past that I've added too many things in and it's just become way too complicated, a little bit overwhelming, and then you find yourself not actually doing anything productive until about an hour after you've woken up. For me, as I said, I like to jump into some work straight away. That works for me. Try things out, take bits from that. The next thing I'll probably check in on would be nutrition and the importance of tracking macros. These are the 3 supplements I'm taking every morning. I also have an evening stack as well, technically for the electrolytes. So Humantra electrolytes, just a high quality electrolyte brand. You can actually get them in Dubai and the UK now. So I put this in with usually around 1 litre of water and just sip on that as I'm working in the morning. So I have Tonka Ali, and then Turkesterone, which is a natural testosterone boosting, improving stack, and then Boron for bone health. And then in the evening, I'll probably try and show you this later on as well, magnesium, vitamin D. I take vitamin D with magnesium because magnesium helps with the absorption of vitamin D, and zinc as well. So those are the evening ones, and that's all I'm taking at the moment, alongside the occasional protein shake, but I wouldn't even class that as supplementation. That's food. And then also creatine monohydrate as well. I've been taking creatine monohydrate for, honestly, since I'm 27 now. Probably been taking that since I was around 19. Back Back then, it was very much just thought of as a a strength and performance supplement to improve performance in the gym, endurance, top end strength, and things like that. But now there's actually a lot of new research coming out to show the cognitive benefits of creatine monohydrate as well. So a lot of doctors actually prescribe it to general population people and older people as well. So yeah, that is my natural stack, and to be honest, that is more supplements than I have taken over the last few years, just because I started working with a new coach and he recommended this for me just to help elevate my testosterone levels and have me in a good spot. So that's what I'm taking at the moment, and I don't think I have any ambitions to add anything else in. That's more than enough for now.
So Joe has made me come on here to speak. I don't really know why. He's making his breakfast, and I'm guessing this video is about food and macros.
Yeah, so one of the key habits for success is not necessarily tracking macros and calories, but being aware of your nutrition. I thought I'd bring on an expert in female health so that she can explain why she recommends that to her clients.
Yeah, so not all my clients actually track their food, but most of them do. But they all track their food in the beginning to learn about macros and to learn about like the effects that each food group has on you. And especially as females, it's really important because your macros are really important for your hormonal health. But yeah, and then when they want to step away from tracking, we implement utilising the knowledge that they've gained from actually tracking their food for a period of time. So like having balanced meals with proteins, fats, carbs, fibre, choosing like good food groups, low GI carbs, etc., lean protein sources, so that when they achieve a goal, whether it's fat loss, muscle gain, they can continue on with it and maintain it.
Love that.
So yeah, track your food if you're new to your fitness journey, because that's where people go wrong, isn't it?
Yeah, and also from the point of view of people that are trying to perform well in work, your energy levels are going to be super low if you're eating a load of shit and processed foods.
Yeah, quality of food is the most important, and macros is second in my opinion. High quality food and then hit your macros.
There we go.
So yeah, thank you for coming to the TED Talk.
Yes guys, so some great insights there from Misha in regards to tracking, monitoring nutrition. Now, the general kind of note with this one is just that you are being aware of your nutrition, your calorie intake, your macro intake, and that is obviously going to be heavily dependent on your goals, and the extent to which you track, again, will be dependent on your situation and your goals. And what I mean by that is, for me, at the moment, I'm choosing to track my calories loosely, but I've done this for years. I've tracked my nutrition consistently for almost 10 years now. So even if I have a couple of days where I'm not actually using MyFitnessPal, tracking the macros and the calories exactly, I know pretty much what I'm consuming, and I know what I can handle. I know that if I pull back slightly on my calorie intake throughout the week, it's going to allow me to go a little bit over on the weekend if I need to, which is what I'm doing at the moment sometimes, just for social events and things like that. But as I say, the advice that I would give to a client would probably be a little bit different, because generally they are less experienced than I am. So for example, if someone's working towards a body composition goal, building muscle, losing fat, we'd obviously have them consuming, for most males, 2 to 2.2 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. We'd give them a carbohydrate intake dependent on the sort of training that they're doing. For someone that's doing endurance training and strength training, their carbohydrate intake would generally be higher. And then we give them what we call a fat ceiling to make sure they're not over consuming on fats. So again, tracking the apps to the absolute dial, all the calories and the macros, is not essential for everyone, but I do think everyone can benefit from tracking consistently for a period of time. And I think regardless of your experience level, you should be closely monitoring your nutrition at all times to get the most out of your training, to help you move towards the goal body composition, the physique that you want, and also to perform at a high level in terms of work, whether you're running your own business or you're working for another company. I know for me, if I consume too many kind of heavy carbs in the morning, for example with oats, if I tried to go at my desk and do deep work for a couple of hours, I'd feel really, really lethargic. For me, I like to place the majority of my carbohydrates around my training later on in the day, and I've actually switched something up recently where I'm actually training later on in the day. Today I'll be training closer to 4 p.m. So I've had, you know, a couple of meals with a good amount of carbohydrates in, and then post-workout as well, I'll look to get a good amount of carbs in as well. Okay guys, so another one of my daily habits, I would say pretty much daily, is getting sun exposure. Now, a few reasons that I do this: primarily to keep the tan up. Obviously, work inside all day behind the desk. If I didn't make an effort to do this, I'd literally be so pale, and I don't see the point in living in, you know, a warm climate if you can't have a tan. That was always a dream of mine, to live abroad and have a tan year round, and I think it's fair to say we're achieving that. But second of all, just to have a little bit of downtime throughout the day. So if I look at my routine today so far, it's actually a little bit different. I've chosen to train later on today in the evening. I just basically had a lot of work that I need to get through this morning, and I just wanted to box all that off, and I can enjoy my training session later on this evening and not feel rushed. But you know, I've did a work block this morning, went for steps as I showed before, eating some food obviously throughout the day as well, which I'm going to go on into in one of the other clips in the video and explain macros and nutrition tracking, how that's a key habit of mine. But done another couple of work blocks as well, so I've done probably 4 hours of solid work today, had a couple of calls with the team, so now I'm just taking an hour out to chill. I'm still on my phone, I'm still responding to clients. It's not as though I'm doing nothing, it is productive, if you could call it that. And then I'm back into some meetings later on today with a client, and I'm actually going round to my mentor's apartment to do a one-to-one strategy session with him. But yeah, getting sun exposure every single day is essential for me. It makes me grateful for kind of the life that I live, and it makes all the hard work worth it. So yeah, that is another one of my key habits, and obviously we can go into the health benefits of that as well later on in the video. Because those Americans just love referring people as well.
Yeah, they love shouting about it. If you know, if you deliver a great service, they will shout about it. Okay, so then what does it look like with the referrals? It's not just an ask, is it a give and ask? Hey Joel, loving what you're doing so far on the program. Honestly, when we work with people like you, this is exactly what we need and what brings out the best in us and our coaching. Someone who GSD gets shit done. And just wanted to champion that, say well done. I appreciate we're only starting our journey, but the wheels are very much in motion.
And it's fine because again, like the client base is not huge, so
we can manage that for sure. Okay, referrals done. Double.
Coming to you from the office. I think the last time I filmed in here, I didn't have my whiteboard. I'll go over that in another video and show you some of the stuff I've got there. But essentially, main tasks that I need to get more consistent on doing in December, and then some also some key KPIs for the business as well. But I wanted to pick up with the next habit of, I think, 5 habits. So obviously we've covered the morning routine, which I think is honestly the foundation for everything, but it doesn't have to be overly complicated. As I mentioned at the start of the video, we've had the nutrition and the macros, which I think was the last one that we mentioned. And then the big one, the obvious one that you need to get in shape, is obviously the training and the exercise routine. And had a videographer in this morning. Obviously, I make all these vlogs myself, all these videos, I edit everything myself, but the short form content that you might have seen on the channel and a lot of the content that I put on Instagram, I do with a videographer, because he comes in, he films me, all I have to do is prepare the scripts for the videos, and then his team edits them. But one of the reels that I made today was around my training routine and a lot of the content that I do make for Instagram, because the majority of our audience are, you know, business owners and people working in the corporate environment too, busy people. And this tip is having a consistent training routine, and that's something that I mentioned in the videos, because the big mistake that I see a lot of people make is they just don't have a solid training routine. Some weeks they'll do 3 strength workouts that they've made themselves. They'll go and do 2 or 3 Barry's Bootcamp classes. Next week, work is really busy and they go and do one run. There's no consistency in terms of the frequency of which they're training. What I mean by that is I train weights 4 days a week, every single week of the year. You know, I'm not doing 3 one week and 5 the next week. And also the modality of training. And what I mean by that is the type of training that you're doing. So if you want to build muscle and get leaner, the most important thing that you do is strength training. If you want to get good at running, then the majority of your training will need to be running. And a lot of people just bounce from different disciplines. They do different things each week, and they're so inconsistent because they don't have that kind of strict structure and schedule. And also, which again I mentioned in the reel that I videoed today, is they're not going to get good results off that. So they never get that buy-in, they never get that proof of concept, which means that they want to stay consistent with it. Because if you do 3 or 4 strength training sessions a week for 6 months, provided that you're following a good training program and your nutrition, sleep, rest and recovery is on point, you're going to get good results. You're going to get that buy-in, you're going to get what we would call that proof of concept, and you're going to want to stay consistent with your strength training. It's like, you know, if I was working with a business mentor and everything that he was getting me to do was working, obviously, you know, in terms of building revenue, building following and things like that, obviously I'm going to want to stay working with that mentor. If I worked with someone where we didn't get results, I would stop doing it. So what I'm trying to say is stay consistent with your training to the point where you get results, and then it's going to compound after that. So if I look at my own training routine, obviously I do hybrid training. I think it's just fitness, strength training and running. I lift weights on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday, and I generally run on Wednesday, Friday and Sunday. Sometimes I will have a full rest day on Friday depending on how my body's feeling, but for me, that training routine is there. It's an absolute complete non-negotiable. Nothing can get in the way of it. Whenever someone asks me whether I want to do something, whether that's me and my girlfriend going out for food, going away for a staycation, whatever it is, travel, I'm always thinking about how I'm going to move my training around to suit that. So, you know, if it means that I need to train in the morning one day, in the evening one day, I'll allow that flexibility. But 90% of the year, I'm trying to train on the same days each week, because we're all busy. If we miss a training session, we move it. Before you know it, you've moved all your training sessions, you've missed 2 of the week. And that's not how you get the best results. It doesn't mean that you need to train loads 7 days a week. Like I do, I train 6 or 7 times a week, but some of those sessions are lower intensity runs. It's almost like recovery cardio, but you do need to be training consistently and trying to stick to a similar amount of sessions each week, because without that, you don't have any structure. Your results are always going to be subpar. So super, super important. Then obviously, if you want more information on the actual training that I do, then just make sure to watch the other videos on the channel. Okay guys, so I'm going to go over the final habit, possibly one of the, well, it definitely is one of the most important ones, and then I'm going to wrap the video after this up. So just out here getting my steps, and the final habit, a key part of my day, is hitting my step count. At the moment I'm aiming for between 12 and 15,000 steps a day. Now that is inclusive of running, about 30k a week, so that does contribute to it, but multiple benefits to step count. And hopefully what you will have realized throughout this video is that everything I've mentioned here, although these are habits for, you know, overall high performance, all of the habits here are going to help contribute to fat loss, getting lean and staying lean. So the benefit obviously of maintaining a high step count is it's going to allow you to burn more calories day to day. It's going to help you maintain a leaner physique year round. It's also going to mean that you can do so whilst consuming a higher amount of calories. I consume, I think my maintenance is probably 3,200 to 3,300 calories per day, and a big part of the reason that I'm able to have that much food is because I maintain a high step count and a high activity level. So there's a truck there, they're building another building next to my building, and I think another unspoken benefit of maintaining a high step count is it obviously takes time, so it forces you to be organized. It forces you to not be sedentary as well. So, you know, for me to hit 12,000 steps a day plus, I need to be going out for a walk first thing in the morning, which was obviously the first habit that I mentioned as well, which is part of the morning routine. So I think it gives you that overall structure, and it gives you a little bit of accountability throughout the day to get moving. Another one is digestion. So after a meal, I'll try and walk for, you know, 10 to 15 minutes just to promote digestion there, and I find that it really helps reduce the feeling of me feeling lethargic and sluggish, especially if I'm working at my desk for many hours throughout the day, which I do. But I think the main benefit to maintain a high step count would be the fact that it's going to get you lean, it's going to help stay lean as well. I think you'll really struggle to stay lean doing any less than 8,000 steps a day. And if you are, you would probably have to reduce calories quite significantly. So those are my main habits, key habits that I promote to all of our clients. I practice day to day myself. I hope you've taken some value from this video, and I hope you've realized, as I mentioned before, that these habits will help you perform at a high level, but also help you stay lean as well, which is obviously something that I preach massively and I'm an advocate for. So yeah, gonna wrap it up here, and I'll probably check in again with a vlog style video.